Hi there, I'm Marcus Gustafson, and I'm the founder of the Hockey IQ program. And I've been asked to present the topic, which is the 4 steps to building a player's goal scoring mental model. And to give you a little bit of a background for myself, is I grew up in Uppsala, in Sweden. Started in a local program, and then at 12 years old, I went to play for Uppsala. And between my 12-year-old year and playing for the men's team till I was 20, I was fortunate enough to have 4 different coaches that were part of Team Sweden. So had some great coaches growing up and learned a lot from them. Then when I was 20, I went over to North America and played for Sean Walsh at University of Maine, and I played there from 95 to 99. My senior year and last game of my career at Maine, I was fortunate enough to score the overtime winner in the NCAA National Championship game in Anaheim. During my years at Maine, I was able to tie 2 school records, which was most points in one game and most assists in one game. And then I played 1 year of pro, where I had 1 game with the Canucks in a preseason game. I played AHL with Syracuse Crunch and with the New Orleans Brass in the East Coast Hockey League. And while I played for these teams, I also had some terrific coaches and learned a lot from them. And I'm very honored to be asked by the coaches site here to present on this topic, as I've had 6 or 7 coaches now I've seen had presentations on this podium. So I'm obviously very honored to join with them. But my topic is going to be 4 steps to building a player's goal scoring mental model. And the main thing is what is a mental model? It's an explanation of someone's thought process about how something works in the real world. So we all have different mental models because we all see things that work for us, and we keep that, we build on that, and so that's basically how we all understand how the real world works for us. So why do we want to use mental models? Because a mental model helps shape behavior. It's set an approach that we can help solving problems, future problems, and it also helps speed up the learning curve. So that's why mental models are crucial to our understanding of whatever topic it is. And since we are talking about goal scoring and so forth, I'm going to now start to share how we can help build players' thought process of how goal scoring works. So here's an example of a mental model, and I call it see it, believe it. So we saw this a few years ago, where something happens and players see how somebody solves a problem, and then others pick up on that. So we've seen those banking off the backboards and have somebody skate and beat the defenders to it. And, once we saw one do it, then you start seeing other people pick it up. And that's exactly how I want this mental model to work. I want to show people how something works, and especially the players, so that they can now start using it and build their own mental model. So the 4-step process to building this mental model for players is I've always found that in order to score a goal, we need to find out what makes it really tough on a goalie. So asking goalies and so forth. So that's what the first thing is, what we're going to try to figure out is what makes it tough on a goalie. The second step that we have here is getting the players and the individual players to understand the 3 S's, I call it. So what do you do as an individual? What can you do individually without the team to score more goals? And then we also want to understand, how can you as a team raise your odds of scoring goals? And then at the end, I want to give players a feedback tool so that they can start using it and becoming basically their own coach and figure out what works and what does not. So step number 1, how are goals scored? Well, the number of shots on goal, if you don't hit the net, you're not going to score. You have the shooting efficiency, which is the proportion of shots that become goals. And obviously we can try to pick corners and so forth. But then you also have the distribution between green and red shots. And this was initially a study done by the performance group in Sweden. And they came up that based on these three factors, there was only one that could be significantly improved, and that's the distribution between green and red shots. So what is the difference between green shots and red shots? That's what we're going to talk about now. The one thing I wanted to add too is I saw also recently that Steve Elliott and his company, they also added what is a yellow shot. So I've added the yellow shots in here too, because that's another way to raise your chances of scoring is to shoot yellow shots. So I'm going to go through here and explain the difference between red shots, yellow shots, and green shots. Red shot is the easiest type of shot for a goalie to save. And they say that, especially at the higher levels of hockey, that only 3% of red shots become a goal. So doing math here, about 30 to 35 shots is what's needed to score one red shot, score one goal. And how you can explain a red shot is when a goalie can see the shot, when the shot's taken, when the goalie is set in his stance, and when the puck has been on your stick for over a half a second. And this, again, is at the higher levels of hockey. So I want to show you here as an example of a red shot. And you can see that the yellow player here gets the puck. He comes in and he shoots a slap shot. And if I pause it right here, you can see that he shoots it here. The goalie can see it. He's outside the crease. He's set in his stance, and he doesn't make the goalie move, and there's not even a rebound. So this might be a really dangerous shooting opportunity at the 10 or 12-year-olds. But as you get to the higher levels, goalies should save these types of red shots. And just to give you also, from a goalie's perspective, here's a video from the performance group from their website. And you can see here that once a pass comes over, once the puck hits the stick, you saw that the puck was on the player's stick for over half a second, and you could pretty much follow that puck coming towards your eyes. So that's what it looks like when a player doesn't shoot quickly. And so this would be considered more of a red shot, where the goalie has a chance to come over, get set, he can see it, and he might be able to do a reaction save on something like this. So then we go to yellow shots, and they say 16% of yellow shots become a goal. So you, instead of needing 30 shots to score, you need maybe 5 or 6. A yellow shot is very similar to a red shot, which means that the goalie can see it. They're set in the stance. It's been on your stick for over a half a second. However, the difference is that you're inside this yellow area. And this is what Mike Valiquette and Clearsight Analytics came up with. So if you can get to this area in here, basically what that means is you're close enough to a goalie that if you can basically miss him and hit the mesh, then the goalie shouldn't be able to react. So getting to the yellow area helps raise your odds of scoring. And since we have this picture up, this line, because we're going to be talking about the slot line coming up, and this line straight up the middle is what we're referring to when we talk about the slot line. So, but here's an example of a yellow shot. So you can see here, the player gets the puck right in the middle. The goalie is set. The goalie can see it. He stops the puck and picks a corner, and he misses. Basically, if the player can basically hit the net, he has a great chance of scoring. And because he's so close, obviously the goalie, hoping maybe that he hits him, that's at best. But that's why yellow shots are so tough for a goalie as well, because you're so close to him. Then we have the green shots. These are the toughest types of shots for a goalie to save. And on average, a green shot is scored between 20 to 25% of the time. So what you have there is you need 4 to 5 shots of green shots. So instead of shooting 30 to 35 to score 1 from the outside, if you can get 4 to 5 green shots, you have just about the same odds of scoring 1 goal. So what you need to remember here, and we're talking about the 3 S's. So when the goalie cannot see the puck when it's shot, or the goalie's not set, or the puck has been on your stick for less than a half a second, that is what makes a green shot. So to summarize this, what can we do in order to make it tough on a goalie? And that is strive to shoot green and yellow shots, because that increases your chances of scoring 5 to 10 times versus shooting red shots. So step 2, what do we do here? How can we help individual players, 1, think the 3 S's, and also show the puck carrier when it's just you that have the puck, not your team is involved, but when you have the puck, how can you create these green shots? So the first thing here is strive to, if you can't see the goalie's eyes, he probably can't see you and that you're shooting it. So then he's going to have a tough time. So in this example, you can see that the defender moves in and shoots and finds an opening there. But if when I pull it back here a little bit, you can see that the goalie is trying to find the puck. You can see his eyes up here, all right? But he's also leaning a little bit to his left, which means that he's covering more of this side of the net and not covering a portion of it here. So he can't really see that now it's coming, but he's also not in great position. If there was nobody in front, he would probably line up and square up to that puck. And if you've ever shot on an NHL goalie, you would know that when they go down in a butterfly, their pads cover outside both posts. So you shouldn't be able to score on them this way. But when you have somebody in front and the goalie might have to lean one way or the other, that's when these types of opportunities open up. And that's how you can see how that goes in. And you can see the goalie, because he has somebody in front, he can't necessarily see where that's going. So try to shoot when the goalie can't see it. So one thing that I always say is, can't see the goalie's eye, that's a good time to shoot it. The next one is try not to make the goalie be set in his stance. So make the goalie move. So I'm going to show you here in live, and you can see that he receives it. He comes in here, he receives the puck, and he goes to the outside, and you can see that the puck is 2-3 feet outside his left skate. But as he pulls in the puck here and he shoots it between his skates. So he just changed the angle about 3 feet, and that probably opens up a little bit of a lane, an opening from what the goalie has to go for or try to save there. So maybe make him open up the pads, shoot between the legs, or maybe if you can see an opening underneath the gloves or so forth, might also help. Here is another option. So we saw the other one when he pulled, as a lefty, he pulled the puck in. But another way to make sure that the goalie is not set is to fake the shot and then also push out. So that's having these 2 options. Obviously, you want to try to make sure that you sell the shot. So the goalie freezes, he plants his skates, and right here, it looks like he's going to shoot it, and then be able to open up your hands and push that puck up, and then maybe shooting, hopefully the goalie drops, and now you should have an open lane there to shoot at. So here's another way you can work on pushing puck out or pulling it in and changing that angle so the goalie's not set. So that's another way that you can start teaching your players to make sure that maybe you can create something out of nothing. I showed you the example of a red shot of what it looks like from a goalie's perspective. And here's what it looks like when you shoot quickly. So you can see here, you can follow the puck coming over, and all of a sudden it's right over your ears. So that's not, at best, you're hoping that they shoot on you, so maybe you can save it. but you're going to have a tough time maybe even controlling that rebound. So if you can shoot quickly is also key to making it really tough on a goalie. So that is what we mean by the 3 S's. Make sure the goalie can see it, make sure the goalie's not set, or shoot within a half a second of that puck touching your stick. Step number 3 that we're talking about is how can we score more as a team? And if you have the puck or you can find somebody in the yellow area, get them the puck or get the puck to the yellow area. Another one from a teaching perspective is when everybody on your team understand what the 7 types of green shots are, they will try to find these types of shots. So if a player is on the outside of the ice and you find because they know that a pass across the slot line will increase your chances basically 10 times, they will now try to look for those types of opportunities. So the 7 types, I'm going to go over that. So if you can teach them, the number 1 here is to pass across the slot line, and you can see on average here is 29% of these passes become a goal, and that's an average. And this is taken from, I believe, the NHL, the season from, I think it was 15-16. But I'm going to show you here, you can see that a defender jumps in and he finds an open player on the other side of the slot line, and he obviously has a lot more net to shoot at. But what to think about when you have the puck here, we know that if he shoots it here, you can see a little bit of an opening. So yes, if he can pick a corner and now the goalie comes over, hugs the post, but you can see here that all 5 blue jerseys are staring at the puck. Their heads are all faced here. Yes, he could try to pick a corner. And so again, if this is a red shot, he might score 1 out of 30 times. This will be a red shot. But just picture when he passes across to this player, just think about how much net he has to shoot at. So this is why it's so hard. If you can make the goalie move to one side, think that you're shooting, and if he doesn't come over, well, yeah, you shoot it. Then so you take what's given to you. But if you can move the goalie over one way and then pass over to the player across the slot line, he's obviously going to have a better chance of scoring. So for example, if you start seeing your players, let's say they both come down right next to each other, one is on this hash mark and one is on this one, and he passes over. Think about how much the goalie has to move. It's not much. But if you can come in here as a lefty, for example, fake the shot, move out towards the outside. If the goalie doesn't go with you, then you can shoot it. Or if the goalie does go with you, he now has to move to his right, and then you pass across, he now has to move over to his left. So we want players to understand how can they create it tough, basically be tougher on the goalie. So that's just a little bit of an extra tidbit there on passing across the slot line and what you can do to be even tougher than just a pass across the slot line. So the next one that I'm going to show you is screens. Again, if you can't see the goalie's eyes, it's a good time to shoot it. And I love this. If you watch the goalie here on the rebound or on the replay, you can see here that the player actually comes in. He's not even looking at the goalie. He's bracing himself because he's about to get hit. But if you follow this puck, you can see that this puck right now goes by the goalie's eyes, and he's still not reacting. So he had no idea that that puck was coming. So if you have good screens, it doesn't have to be a rocket. You just have to make sure that you miss the goalie and get the puck on net, and you can create a great scoring chance. So then we have one-timers on the same side of the slot line. And this one here doesn't become a goal, but I want you to watch this player here, number 10. And as he moves in, he kind of look at his path here. You can see that he pulls in, he comes in towards the goalie. He draws 2 defenders to him, and then he kind of moves into a spot where he gets an opportunity. So he kind of creates a little bit of a bubble, gets into that soft spot, and he's able to get an opportunity. And the reason why the one-timer is on the same side of the slot line, and especially from behind the net, because when the puck's behind the net, the goalie usually is up against the post. And if you can get it here, the goalie is tight and is close to the goal line. So you usually can miss the goalie. You usually can see some net before, because the goalie really has to come out and cover that. So, but one-timer is on the same side of the slot line. It's not as high a percentage as a pass across the slot line, but it's still better than a red shot. Then we have shots that can also be broken down to green broken plays. They have a very high percentage of going in. And the reason is it basically surprises everybody. Green broken plays is not anything that you plan for. Like I bet that 19 here didn't plan to hit this guy on the glove, make it bounce over to his teammate while everybody is still trying to figure out where that puck goes, and then it goes in. So crap happens, and green broken plays happens all the time, but it's all about, it's a little bit of luck, but it starts with a green play. And the reason why this is a green play is because he receives it and shoots right away. So the defensemen have to make a read, make another read, make another read. And that's why it's so confusing. And they might not have their sticks in the lane because things have happened so quickly. Then the fifth type of green shot is possession across the slot line. And so when you see here, you can see that this player carries it in and scores. So the reason, if you think about it this way, if he tries to shoot it from here, potentially could be a borderline yellow, but also a red shot. But you can see that it's basically just him and the goalie. He shoots it here. The goalie's set. He can see it. He's had the puck on his stick. A little bit easier for a goalie to make that save. But when he carries that puck across the slot line, the goalie's not set anymore. And you can see that when he releases this shot, the goalie's pretty much on his stomach, and he's made it a lot tougher on the goalie to be in his best position to make that save. So instead of shooting from a bad angle, if you can carry it and, maybe start carrying it this way. If the goalie starts leaning, you could always cut back, go between the legs. It's a lot easier than if you give the goalie the advantage of just making sure that you're coming straight at him and shooting at him, and he should be able to block it. The sixth type of green shot is a deflection. And the reason why deflections are so hard is because they usually change direction and the goalie. So it can kind of be another word for a yellow shot, if you want to call it that way, because it usually changes direction close to the goalie. So you can see here that he can shoot it here, but he changes the direction. And if we go back and look, if number 16, if he shoots it here, yes, the goalie could potentially be screened. So it could be a green shot that way. But you can see that this angle here, when he shoots, it goes pretty much outside the stick range from this defender, and he can just deflect it and tip it from an angle, and he's got all kinds of net to shoot for. The other thing that I like about this, even if he does shoot it, and obviously this is a power play, but if he does shoot it, if the rebound bounces out to the right, they have a player here. If the rebounds goes straight ahead, they have a player in front, and if the rebound bounces to the left, they have a player attacking. So they got all sides covered here, which is a great way to make sure that you're ready for rebounds. And the last one is a green shot rebounds. And the reason why a green shot rebound is so hard is that the goalie is struggling to make that first save from a green shot. So you can see one-timer, but you can see that he's slid out. He's not in great position to pick up the rebound. So even if you can shoot a rebound, and if it doesn't go in, it's going to be tough for a goalie to keep that rebounds. They also say that a red shot rebound, so for example, if you just come in and you shoot a red shot from here, especially at the higher levels, they're able to put those rebounds out in the corner. You know, if they are set, they can deflect it. It either goes up in the netting or it goes out in the corner. And for a red shot rebound to become a goal or become a shooting opportunity is very low percentage. So try to strive for these green shots. So at the end of the day here, we have step 4. How do we get players to problem solve and be more creative? And I found that these self-evaluation sheets is a great way for the players to start thinking like a coach and be immersed themselves. We want them to start watching hockey more and see situations. So whether they use these self-evaluation sheets with their own videos and see how they're scoring, or if they're using it, if you're using it as a team, or they're using it to watch games on NHL or whatever games you are. Basically, what this is you can look at your opportunity. You can see what type of chance you had. Did you shoot a red shot, yellow shot, and a green shot? And you can just tick the box and go down the line here, and then you can have your results. So if you see that you had 8 shots in a game and you had all red shots, it's not uncommon that you won't have any goals. But if you have 4 shots or 8 shots and you had 4 green shots and 3 yellow shots and 1 red shot, you're probably going to see that the process is going to allow you to score more goals. So it's not, most games have more red shots than green shots, other than on power plays. And maybe, you watch NHL and you watch the overtime games when there are 3-on-3, you'll see that there are more green shots and yellow shots than red shots when the opportunity is there. So what can you do as a coach? Coaching tip number 1, help the puck carrier strive for green and yellow shots, help them understand the 3 S's, and help the puck carrier understand how can we score, because you are going to be able to make it tougher on a goalie when you use your line mates and you strive to find those 7 green shots. And also help the offensive players without the puck to create green shots. Help them to create screens, get in open passing lanes across the slot line. And if you get those opportunities, shoot quick shots. Help them think about creating a bubble so that they can find those open lanes and find that open ice, so they're not in a spot where a defender can deflect the pass that might be coming to you. Time those rebounds and also hunt rebounds. Move in towards the play when a teammate is shooting so you can get to the rebound, have that momentum to pick up new pucks, so you're not just a one and done team, but you can pick up another rebound so you can keep that offensive pressure and create more green shots or yellow shots. Obviously, ice awareness is key for players when you do get the puck, is to know your situation, know what the goalie is doing, know where your players are, and you'll be able to find these. This was a great, not only the player in front of the net understanding that he can help the player with the puck, but also the puck carrier understanding that the player in front has a better chance of scoring than I do, so I'm going to give it to him. So help them understand and prioritize good scoring chances. Coaching tip number 2 is don't be too cute. Don't always, yes, a pass across the slot line is a great opportunity, but when you're having 5 guys like this taking away that cross ice pass, it's not a good one. So I say something is better than nothing. So when you face something like this, is maybe find screens, maybe make the goalie move, shoot, and have guys attack for the rebound. Coaching tip number 3. So when do you make these green shots? So have them count numbers. If you outnumber the plays or the opposition, try to make a play. You should be able to, somebody should be open, so you should be able to make a play. If you are outnumbered, try to manipulate the D. So if you're outnumbered, where you're outnumbering the defenders. You can see here. So you can see here that they intercept the pass, and it's a 3-on-2. So now make a play. You can see pass across the slot line, and you can see how much net he has there. So you understand that you are outnumbering the defenders. Try to make a play. If you're outnumbered, I say it, manipulate the D. Okay. So in this example, you'll see here that it's basically a 3-on-3 coming in. So he doesn't have any passing options here. He's got his stick in the pass. This guy has the stick in the passing lane, nothing to do. So what does he do? He draws him down. He pulls away, skates away. And now that's when you're able to manipulate the D. So if you can watch this player here, he turns away, and this back checker is seeing that the defender is beat, so I got to come over and help him. And he basically leaves his man that he had before, and he made something out of nothing. All right. So you can have a red shot. In the NHL, I get it. A shot on net. Maybe you had guys crashing the net. Maybe that's a good scoring chance. If this was a playoff game, maybe you would see that type of shot because you don't want to turn it over. But if you're a younger player, strive to make green shots and yellow shots as much as possible. Coaching tip number 4, and this is the last one, is basically have fun with it. Celebrate goals. Give them knuckles when they're scoring a goal, and especially if they're doing it the right way. If they're striving to do a green shot or a yellow shot, celebrate the process. Make them understand what they did. And even if they don't score, but they follow the process, give them knuckles. Another thing that I've found when you're coaching is when they're doing the right thing, or if they're not doing the right thing, ask them questions. Hey, what were you trying to do? And make them tell you. A coach in Maine, Sean Walsh, said to us in our rookie meeting that you will go from a good player to a great player when you start thinking like a coach. So you as a coach, try to get them to explain to you what they're doing. And in every drill that you're doing, incorporate in every shot, make them try to figure out a way to create green shots or yellow shots. Could be in a warm-up drill, could be in a 3-on-2 drill, but emphasize green shots and red shots in every drill. And if you can prepare your players to be hungry and use every opportunity and every drill in practice, they're just going to get so many more reps, and they're going to be able to get so many more reads that you're going to prepare them so much better for when in games and when the opportunity comes presenting themselves. So the reason why I feel so strongly about these mental models is because this is what happened to me in 1999. I was able to, and fortunate enough, to just get a pass, shoot it quickly, and get my own rebound. And, scoring goals, I wish everybody could have this feeling, what it feels like scoring a goal in a game that means a lot, and it's important. I know we all dream about it. But the reason I think that I really strive to make sure that I shot a lot of the passes really quickly, and how I built my mental model was when I was in Sweden. I remember one of my first games playing for the men's team. I received an opportunity, a pass across the slot line. I remember receiving it, took my time, looked up, and missed the net, or didn't score anyway. So I hit the net, but the goalie was able to come over, and I didn't score. And I remember somebody telling me that just try to shoot it quicker. And from then on, I try to shoot it quick every time I had an opportunity, so the goalie wouldn't be. And if I wouldn't have had that opportunity, and somebody basically putting in my head and building my mental model of it's important to shoot quickly, I might not ever have shot that puck quickly and might never have gotten that rebound. So that is why I think it's key for us coaches to be able to show players how they can build their mental model and put the odds on their side to score more goals. So that's all I had for today. I hope you learned something, and hope you can take any of these tips that I have here presented today, and hope you can help other players, and hopefully some of your players will be able to score some of these goals. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or go to my website and check it out. But I wish you all have a great season, and I hope you score a lot of goals. Thank you.